Alright, JP the third with you. We're back. I'm trying not to break immersion here, but I did say in the first video I'm going to try and knock this out in one sitting. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to achieve that. We are still with Shining Song Starnova. Excuse me. Okay. We can do this. We're in this together. We're in this together. Julie stood on her tippy toes and grabbed a cardboard box from the top of a steel shelf. Oh, be careful. While Maria was the tallest of the bunch, it was clear from her drunken swaying that she lacked the capacity to grab the box. Looks like this is where the swimming suits are. Julie opened the box and sure enough saw a sweat of swimwear inside. Aki dropped a coil of measuring tape onto the table. Yahoo! Let's strip! Strip! Well, I guess we have to do it. I feel like this is where we're kind of missing the point. Like, if you want to have this kind of realistic take on the idol industry, it's about to be proven how serious you are in the next few minutes. Julie reached into her skirt and pulled down her panties. Ah, it's black. What? What's wrong with black? Oh me oh my. Yeah, we're gonna have to censor that. That will be fixed in post. Trust me, most of you have already figured out what I'm seeing that you're not seeing, but I think we can all drink on this one. Nemo's behemoth's chest spilled out as she unclipped her bra. Yeah. They're like two watermelons. Nemu stuck her tongue out as she wrapped the measuring tape around her mammaries. This has got to be one of the worst tropes in anime ever. I bet you Nemo's chest is wider than my butt. Listen up, girls. Maria interrupted the girl's tomfoolery. The new producer's up to no good. I recognize his face back from when I was with Golden Calf. Even though we never talked personally, all the men who work there are the same. He'll sucker us with big promises like we'll be famous and have millions of fans. He'll probably go on and on about how he can get us lives. I know what you mean, but phrasing, come on. And how great the idols he produces turn out. And then he'll make us sign a bunch of fishy contracts, and that's when the nice guy act will end. He'll force us to do this and that, topless photo shoots, make us eat bugs on live television, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Who knows what new punishment game they'll devise next. And after he's through with us, he'll just cut us loose and say things like, "You're just not fresh enough anymore." Away from the eyes of the producer, Aki's personality had completely transformed. Relatively speaking. Yeah, we all know Maria's not cut out for this sort of work. We're fine with putting ourselves out there. I say bring on the revealing photo shoots. I'll pose with my boobs cupped in my hands 1,000 times if that means I'll get to stand on the stage. Ooh, at least she's honest. An idol who's scared of fan service doesn't deserve to be an idol at all. Just because Maria screwed up her shot to become an idol doesn't mean she has to ruin it for the rest of us. You don't even know half of what it's like. Ah. Could it be that Aki-chan doesn't mind posing topless just because she doesn't have nothing to hide up there? You always have to open your mouth. A flat chest is an appeal point in today's market. Aki let her bra drop and puffed up her chest with pride. Sure enough, her chest was nothing to write home about. Her little mouth were but little motion cakes next to nameless jugs of wonder. Okay, so if the producer's outside, who's narrating this? Just asking. I'm almost out of beer. I've skipped drinking milk for the past 6 years just for my fans. Everyone. The girl turned her face to Sami, surprised that the unusually quiet girl had spoken. The producer's not a bad guy. I think we should trust him. Oi, girls who trust others so easily get eaten alive in this industry, you know. Eaten alive! No, actually, I know the producer back from when we both worked at Golden Calf. Yeah? Then why didn't you say something earlier? Well, it's not exactly like we know each other well. In fact, I only met him once. Once? And you think we should trust him just because of that? You're just... Anyways, that one time was enough for me to believe he's not a bad guy. Still not jumping to conclusions, but this game is making it hard. Just what makes you think that? Well... Sasami's voice trailed off. Ah, maybe Sasa-chan confessed to the producer that one time. No, that's not it, Natan. Yeah, what she said. With that, the girls finished putting on the swimsuits and measuring themselves. Their discussion left unresolved. It's probably for the best. The Shining production office consisted of just a small break room and a main office. There was a separate dance studio on the first floor of the tenement, which the office leased for practices. Overall, we had just the barest minimum level of facilities required to run an idol agency. The Golden Calf offices where I used to work have floors upon floors of photo stages, various sets used for shooting PVs, as well as facilities for talent such as spas, pools, and restaurants. Compared to all of that, we essentially worked in squalor. I sat at my new desk, located at one of the corners of the office space, and reviewed the girls. The physical examinations were mostly to check for obvious problems with the talent's physical appearances. Large birthmarks, stretch marks, scars, etc. reduced the candidate's commercial value, and so every talent had to be screened for such defects. Again with those judgmental looks. I'm just a producer doing his job. Put those pitchforks down. Why were they all different swimsuits? Just asking. A row of girls dressed in swimsuits stood before my desk. Please slowly rotate yourself so I can get a clear view of you at every angle. The girls did as I asked. It didn't seem like any of them had any problems. Not like I anticipated any. As one could expect from girls applying to be idols, each of their bodies had their respective charm. There was no question that the average man on the street would be overjoyed to have any one of these girls even express interest in him. You and Aki trying to get into a sexy pose for you? No, that won't be necessary. Okay, looks like everyone passes. You can go ahead and get dressed now. Yeah, over already? And I got all excited to get into the swimsuit. Kinda made me think we were all headed to the beach or something. Oh, I'm sure that's coming in this game. Of course we weren't going to do that in February, you idiot. Hey, Oni-chan, does that mean that we'll be debuting as a unit? Aki poked her head into my physical space by leaning on my desk. That's currently in the planning stages. For now, the presumption is that all 7 of you will be working together in the same unit. Of course, that does not rule out the possibility of subunits or solo work as well. See, random thought about Japanese idols. I mean, it seems like there are 2 groups of musicians in Japan, and I could be completely wrong about this. Really, well, not really young girls, but teenage girls that go into this particular idol industry, and then musicians that kind of spawn off and do their own thing. So, somebody hit me back on that one. I really don't have to be briefed on every little bit of the musical industry in Japan, but I'm curious. I mean, because Maria, she seems to, I would think she would have somewhere to go in the industry beyond just, beyond just nothing after being an idol. But I don't know. This is a guy you're talking to a guy who's probably going to go after this playthrough is over and listen to Baroque for half an hour. So take of that what you will. Of course, that does not rule out the possibility of subunits or solo work as well. In other words, nothing much has been decided, huh? The girls lingered on in their swimsuits, apparently too focused on asking me questions. I could understand where they were coming from, though. No doubt they all had questions about what was going to happen next. What about photo shoots, radio shows, or television appearances? We are working on that as well. Hurry, Oni-chan. Aki-chan wants to do some sexy graver. Graver? You know what? The only thing I know about that word is that Asuka and NXT used to be some kind of graver thing. You do not have to explain to me what that is in the comments. I'm pretty sure I don't want to know. Aki winked at me and bent down, pulling attention to her petite collarbone. Never mind that. We need a debut song before anything. Where are we even going to get a song? I will be preparing that. You? So you have a songwriter lined up? No, actually I'll be writing it. I may not look like it, but I'm also a composer. Oh, would you look at it? Look at that. Pikun's a surprisingly talented fellow. I'll have to listen to what he makes before making that judgment. Well, I guess we can get right into the interviews then. Despite the girls still wearing nothing but swimsuits, none of them particularly seemed opposed to continuing the discussion, as expected of idol candidates. Now, as you most likely are aware, our company requires all talents to follow a code of conduct. Now, I would say we're more relaxed than most other agencies, but please try to conduct yourselves in a manner befitting future idols. First off, have any of you had any past or current relationships with men? Obviously not. Aki-chan's too young for that, so that's a total yes. That chan's such a loser. Never even had a boyfriend before. That's actually kind of believable. I can claim no experience myself. None. The Dark Lord is the only man I serve. I can't say I ever have. Well, no surprises there. Okay, so that acts as the presumptions I've had before about Sasami and the main character. I'm interested in to see what exactly happened. Besides, even if these girls are total players who cycle one guy every week, it's not like any of them were going to confess to their producer right now. The only reason why producers even ask these questions is to set up a legally valid claim for fraud if we discover later that the girls aren't as virginal as they claim. I'm just performing my due diligence for the company. You can sue for that in Japan? Okay. Who would launch a lawsuit? Wait, I'm making a mental note right now. I'm making a physical note right now. In the next video, I'm going to see who sued for that in Japan. Because the only way you can even make that statement if that was actually a lawsuit. So part 3, we'll get into that. We're going to keep going with part 2 for now. After asking a few more questions and receiving various generic, non-offensive answers from the girls, the interview concluded. Well, you could say everyone passes. Alright! Wasn't it obvious we were the only candidates? For now, I prepared a lesson plan consisting of dance and vocal practices. Please devote yourselves to the lessons. I guess we don't really have a choice. Alright, let's get to it. Now, please get prepared for the afternoon dance session. The girls eyed me. Oh. I stood and vacated the premises once more before they changed. Oh, lordy. The girls stood around in shorts and t-shirts in the dance studio in preparation for their first lesson. Oh, this is a little exciting, isn't it? Had to polish that off before it got too warm. It feels like things are finally starting up again. Oh, I wonder what our new dance instructor is going to be like. I hope the instructor's not too strict. I entered the room, pushing a cart with a DVD player and a television screen on top. The girls gathered around as I pushed the cart to the front of the studio. Don't tell me. I put a DVD into the player and turned the screen on. A recording of a dance instructor played on the television. These DVDs will be your lesson for now. Eh? Nobody's impressed. You mean we won't even have live instruction? Figures. I guess a cheap agency like this wouldn't be able to afford a real instructor after all. Natan. The girl had one hell of a mouth. She seemed like one of those provincial blockheads who just spoke off whatever was in her head without a lick of restraint. I rubbed the back of my head, feeling awkward as hell. Please bear with the individual practices for now. The girls stared at me, their previous enthusiasm wiped from their eyes. Understood. Meanwhile, the girls slumped through practice with the barest minimum of effort. Everyone sighed and changed into their regular clothes as practice came to an end. Good work, everyone. Everyone murmured good work to each other. Everyone's a little down, aren't they? What she said. Obviously, I'm disappointed. I thought this agency would be better than this. Are we really going to be able to become idols like this? Ah, well, it's all because we messed up our chances before. It's not like we're pretty little youngins anymore. That train's already sailed past. Ah, ton. Ah, 4. Whatever. I gotta get to work now. Maria's working 2 jobs. 3. What do you expect? How are we supposed to survive in this town just doing this? Nata's gotta work too. Huh? What kind of work? Construction! Somehow, that sounds like it suits you, Natan. Gotta build up my muscles. What about you, Sasa-chan? Me? I just help out at my parents' business. It's an old karaoke bar. Yeah, that sounds nice. I just live with my parents. Everything's easier when you're young, huh? Seriously, it's not like I want to, but I don't really have a choice. What about Mika-chan and the rest? This one's life is devoted to the Black Road. A servant of the Black does not require earthly sustenance. Devotion to the path is all that this one needs. In other words, you're just a NEET, huh? Well, I guess I do some other stuff. Like... stuff. What she said. Ah, look at the time. I gotta get going. Okay, let's get going. The group first went upstairs to say goodbye to me in the office, and then exited the office. Alright. Of course, the purpose of a talent agency was to sell its talents. Whether to record labels, magazine publishers, television stations, and film studios, I had to be constantly advertising our employees. To that end, I had arranged for a professional photographer to come to our office and take professional portraits of all of our workers. I cleared out a section of our office and dropped down a white curtain from a whiteboard to jerry-rig a makeshift photo stage. It was a far cry from the extravagant photo shoots of my previous workplace, but for now, this was the best we could do. The girls lined up to get their portraits taken one by one. Or at least that was the plan. So I'm going to cut it right here. In the next video, we're going to see how well this plan goes. Leave a like if you're enjoying the series so far. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And stay frosty, my friends. We are only halfway, I'm sure. Probably less than halfway into the wonderful world of Shining Song Starnova. Till next time.